Hi everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my studio today. It's a bright sunny day. I think it's probably like 29 degrees outside, but it's bright and sunny, so it gives us hope that spring is on the way. The project I have to show you today is a wow project, but it's super simple. It's actually a sympathy card, but as I looked at it, I thought it would make a fabulous wedding invitation if you were having a beach wedding. But it's part of the Sand and Sea Suite that is in the new, well, it's not as new as it was a couple of weeks ago. It's the January to June mini catalog. And this suite, along with 2 other bundles, will be the focus of my upcoming online retreat. So I wanted to remind you of it because registration, if you want to get the full kit, is coming up really soon. And a couple days after that, if you want the supplies, the registration will be up for that. And then you can also get just the videos. It's an all online retreat. So I'll explain it to you just for a second before I get going on the card. So it's a Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, but you can watch it anytime and the projects will be there up to a year. So I'll post some on Friday, I'll post some on Saturday, and I'll post some on Sunday. And the 3 things that we'll be focusing on are the Sand and Sea Suite, and then the Friendly Flamingo, and then the Baby Shark, which is here. So they're all kind of sea-themed, escape to the beach, kind of tropical sets. So there's 3 ways you can do it. You can buy the full kit, and with the full kit, you get all 3 of those bundles. You get all of the supplies, like the cardstock, the ribbons, and that kind of stuff, plus a whole bunch of goodies if you get the full kit that you'll be able to make all 12 projects. Then if you want to just do the classic retreat, that is where you just get the videos and then you just get the card supplies. Or you can just, like I said, get the online version. The colors that we'll be working with, so you'll need to have these colors if you get my card supplies, are the ones that are right here. Plus black, and you'll need adhesive, and obviously you'll need a die cut machine. But if you don't, like if you already have a couple of different shell sets, because I know we've had lots of them, where you have beach sets, or the Baby Shark just doesn't do it for you, or you have one of our old flamingo sets, you can get the classic one, and I'll show you some. I mean, if I use this flamingo, you can substitute the flamingo you have. Or I'm gonna show some alternate versions, especially with the Baby Shark, and maybe use the kangaroo, or maybe just use some flowers. So not every card will have an alternate, but I will show alternate cards so you can follow along and just get some ideas. So it's gonna be super fun. These tutorials are up and they show off the bundles a little bit more. Here's the Baby Shark. And then this one is the suite that I'm using today. It is the Sand and Sea Suite. It's got fabulous pieces in it. The card I'm gonna do today is super fast, not nearly that long. And then here is the flamingo. So we'll be doing some really fun cards. I'd love to have you. The videos will be up for a year, so even if you're busy that weekend, and that's why registration can stay open longer than I anticipated. I had a rough time in December, so everything got kind of pushed further than I wanted it to. But you don't have to watch the videos as they post. You can get together with friends sometime at the end of February and do it. But here's the 2 sets I'm going to use today. I am going to use the sand dollar out of Friends Are Like Seashells. And then I'm going to use the celebration set. So this one is one of the free ones, and I'm going to use the Wishing I Could Heal Your Heart. Love this font. You could easily switch it to a thank you. You could even do the We're in This Together. I thought that might be a fun twist on words if you wanted to use it kind of for a bridal card, like if you were giving it to your bridal, like your bridesmaids or your groomsmen as a thank you card. So the supplies, super simple. So I've gone with soft suede. And then I have a piece of shimmer white that I'm going to stamp my sunflower on, some window sheet, and then the fabulous pearl paper. So because it takes the window sheet a second to dry, I'm going to start with embossing, running these through the embossing machine first. So let's stamp these. I'm going to do the sand dollar and soft suede. There's very minimal stamping on this card because we're going to let the fabulous embossing folder do most of the work for us. So let's get the sand dollar, and I'm using shimmery white just because the pearl paper is beautiful, but it takes a second longer to dry. And then I'm just going to run this through the embossing folder, the cut and emboss machine, and then we will stamp on it. So I have, I'm gonna do the sand dollar first, because when you're doing more than one die, if you have one that is that's kind of placed like this one is, and one that's just on a piece of paper, do the one that's placed first. Because that one, if that one slides a little bit, it doesn't matter. And this frame is just gonna go on the window sheet. So if it moves, if it smudges a little bit, it doesn't matter at all. So I'm gonna put these on, and it's staticky in my house, which it is probably in a lot of your houses right now because the heat's running. So just hold on to your plate till everything's gone through, and that eliminates that little problem that we all have when it kind of lifts up and moves because the static grabs the plate. So we've got these. Don't want to lose this, so I'll make sure that goes, I'm gonna lay it that way so I don't lose it. And then this is really the star of the show. This is the pearl paper. If you haven't seen it yet, it's just beautiful. It's a step, like 5 steps more pearly than the shimmer white cardstock. And then this is the folder that's part of the Sand and Sea Suite. And this is cut 4 by 5 1/4, so you do lose a little bit of it, but you need to if you want to put it on your card front. So I'm going to make sure that I have more of the bottom than at the top, because I want all those leaves at the bottom. And if some of these go off the top, that's okay with me. So put that on there and just run this through. Oops. You need the gray plate, Sherry. I just picked up the nearest plate instead of the right plate. So there's that. Pop all this out of the way. They have camp tomorrow, and this is their last camp card. So kind of putting stuff in the little camp bucket as I go. So look how pretty this is. It is just stunningly beautiful. It has all of the detail, and it has that shell. Now there is a die. Let me show you the die real quick, because we're not using it on this card, but it will make an appearance in the retreat. You can line the die up, which is what I do on this card, back over the top of this, and it cuts out those images. So on this one, that's how I did it, and then I colored those in. So you can watch that video if you want to see the die in action. But for this one, we're just going to go simple and stunning. So it would make I'm doing it for a sympathy card because it's simple, and I like my sympathy cards to not be blingy, not be too much, but it's so striking that you could easily do it for a wedding, an anniversary. So I've got my window sheet. Get all the stuff that's stuck to it because there's static in the house. So I'm going to take the back side, and this has a beveled edge, so there is a back side, but if you get the wrong side, it doesn't really matter. And then I have my Pool Party blend. I'm going to use the brush tip, but you just do this once. If you lay this aside and you let it dry and you come back, the second time you go over it, it just erases itself. So you have to work with it while it's wet. And I wanted the light because I just want the faintest tinge. I'm having a hard time talking today. The faintest tinge of Pool Party. So as long as it's wet, I can keep adding it. And I don't care that it's got little streakies in it because I'm doing it to look like water. And this just takes a second to dry. So you can see it's got that really faint Pool Party look to it now. And I didn't go all over the whole thing. I'll let that dry, and then I'll go to my sand dollar. And I just have a wink of Stella. And I'm just going to give a quick wipe over it. And you know, when you do it on a regular ink pad, it kind of picks up that color and pulls it into it. So, and this was soft suede as well. I may have said Sahara sand earlier. I don't know. It's like my brain's not connecting to my head today. It's because I've got too much to do. But I wanted to film this in between cutting the paper for camp. So we'll let that dry now. And then now this should be dry. So flip this over. And then if you want to stamp on this and not emboss, you can heat emboss on it. And I have lots of videos on my channel where I've embossed with heat on the window sheets. So you can go back and watch one of those if you want to see it. But I'm just going to use Stays On. And I have the thank you because at camp, if they don't want to make a sympathy card, then they'll have the option to to do that. So you just ink up your words, and you need to remember that when you're stamping on something slippery, that it has a chance to slide, because that's what can happen. Now I know where I want to mount my shell, and I want it on this side, so I'm gonna put my words to this side. You just have to press firmly, but make sure it doesn't slide. There's a chance it will also stick, so when you raise it up, just do it carefully, and then you can pull that off. See, it's perfect. So pretty. And then this Stays On is a flash drawing. It says for every surface. On the red rubber, I can wait and wash it off in a few minutes. If you're using it on your photopolymer, it's really suggested that you wash it off right away. My throat's scratchy, so I have my tea here. So I'm gonna fold this up. Now we just have to mount it together. I told you it was a super easy card. Let me just put this one on with my seal. Just there. And then I know, because sometimes it's hard to put window sheet on because you don't want to see your adhesive right underneath it. But I know where this is going to go. And I want it to be kind of raised up so the window sheet's not laying right on top of my shells. It'll give it a little bit better of an appearance. Kind of waterish. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals here. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my window sheet. Oh, this one's kind of in the wrong place. So if you don't press them down before you stick them on, you can move them. I think that's good. Yep. Stick those there. On this, you can really see the blue. It kind of hides itself a little bit on that really pretty pearl paper. Now, I'm going to take some ribbon. So to stick the ribbon on here, I'm just going to take my seal and just put it straight here. I'm going to hide everything under my sand dollar. This is the ribbon that's out of the Floral Art Suite, Art Gallery. I just need a little piece. I don't want it to be terribly even. So I'm going to kind of do a piece up there and a piece to the side. And then this is out of the annual catalog, and it's the gold cord that's part of, oh gosh, it comes with the linen thread. I will put the supplies down below. I don't even remember which suite it's part of now because we've done a holiday catalog and now this catalog. And it's one of my favorites and I use it all the time. So I've just got like a little string of it, but I don't want it to be even. So now I'm going to kind of hold it together and then I'm going to pull some of them so it's not, I want kind of like that it's been washed in the sea look. So I'm going to take another dimensional or 2 and stick them right back over that ribbon. So now it's all sandwiched in here. Nothing's going to come off. Now you can kind of lay this on here and spread it out. You just want to make sure that all the pieces get in there. And I don't want mine to all be even. And then a couple more of them I'm going to snip. I'm going to leave some of them looped and snip some of them. And then just to make sure, because now a lot of the dimensionals are touched, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive to the middle. And now everything's sandwiched in there nicely. And then these are the opal rounds that are part of the Sand and Sea suite. I just need 1. If I was doing a wedding card, I might do 3. Actually, I think if I was doing a wedding card, I would do 3 of these and then I would go get my pearls and I would do 3 pearls as well. Because, you know, bling that thing up or put some champagne rhinestones or something on if it's a wedding card. But for a sympathy card, you want to keep it simple. You want it to be pretty. Kind of fray these out too. That could have been a tad bit longer, but it's good. So here you go. Here's my other one. It's really hard for these not to look exactly the same because there's not a whole lot of play on this. I hope you can see the sparkle. It's sometimes on a sympathy card, I'm like, do you add the sparkle? The pearl paper has just enough. This has just enough that it's classy. I wouldn't send it like to somebody who'd lost a child. But you know, if somebody's lost a parent, especially a parent, you know, who may have lots of memories of the beach, I don't think it's too sparkly for that, but it also would make a fabulous wedding invitation. I love that our cards can be multi-uses. So there you go. If you're interested in being part of my retreat, or I have lots of online classes, then I will put the links for those down below the video. Everybody have a great weekend. Bye.